Hello, welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Hop and Go, released in 1943. It's the 398th of the series and it's directed by Norm McCabe. You can find this short on the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 6 DVD set. There's a few problems with it in terms of the soundtrack and it doesn't even look restored. Thankfully now we've got a HD version and it's in the public domain, so I'll show it for you after the review, but hopefully this will make its way on disc at some point. In case you haven't seen this one, again, you can watch it at the end, but just for consistency's sake, a kangaroo named Claude Kangaroo is bouncing around saying that he's the best hopper around, and these two Scottish rabbits, why the Scottish, whatever, I don't know, they seem to want to take him down a peg and show him that he's not the best hopper around. So, pretty straightforward. First up, you're going to see other highlights of the audio commentary I did for the channel. It's still up on the channel in full, but I'm putting it here for consistency's sake. And then I have got a few more thoughts, and then you can watch the cartoon at the end. So, grab some popcorn and enjoy. And with me today is my good friend and fellow kangaroo, SC McPeter. Say hi.
Hello.
So what we have here, Pinto Colvig is still doing a few voices for Warners. Yeah, it's Claude Hopper, who became the next major Looney Tunes star, next to Bugs Bunny, clearly.
I love the music in this one. It kind of actually sounds like Scott Bradley a little bit, more than Carl Stalling.
This was probably an attempt for Norm McCabe to create his own character, but of course he got sent off to war, and so his directing career ended up being...
Yep, it makes a good one-off nonetheless.
Yeah, but I wonder where I can get one of those chicken inspector badges. So,
this animation of them setting up a whole boxing ring is definitely Cal Dalton.
Wait, it's still more funnier than Conrad, which Pinto Colvig also voiced. And see, this guy's a goof. I wonder if that was an in-joke.
Yeah.
It must have been an in-joke.
I actually thought that too. Like they're deliberately trying to say, this guy's goofy.
Yeah.
I noticed with this one as well, there's a new background layout artist for McCabe, and he actually worked at Screen Gems. And that's where sort of the UPA style was born, actually at Screen Gems, as we see more Cal Dalton animation. So it sort of has a really abstract look. Interesting how McCabe was stuck with doing these wartime jokes. He didn't even like the jokes. He thought they were cheap.
And I was even told that when they were showing his cartoons once, and Norm McCabe was around, Norm was like, "Oh, don't! I don't want to see these." He seemed pretty embarrassed because he was, he lived quite a long life actually.
He was the last director to die. He died in 2006.
The premise of this cartoon is really good too. It's a simple idea.
Yeah.
About him jumping and.
Yeah.
Wow! Look at the animation of the rabbit time taking a shower. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And here's this wild ending. It's just
certainly announced. A really weird way. I mean, McCabe at this point, I think he found where his fitting was in terms of directing, where he sort of puts characters a bit down in terms of the conflict that they're in, and he really gets wild with it, like this.
Yeah, it just keeps going and going, and especially that meat ceiling gag, which is pretty weird. But
Kangaroo meat too.
That's right. And fun fact, I have eaten kangaroo meat, and it's actually good. If you have a chance to try it, it's really lean. It's really nice. It's leaner than cow meat. So there you go. It's a fun fact. But we end on a wartime themed gag here. So final thoughts as we, destroy another city.
Maybe not a champion short, but it is pretty good.
Yeah, for what it is, it's solid. So as mentioned, the full track is on the actual channel, and I just wanted to put the actual highlights for this review, but a few things I wanted to go through this one, because rewatching it in HD, properly restored, you can admire the backgrounds once again. See, the last few Norm McCabe shorts had Dave Hilberman as the background artist, and the backgrounds look absolutely gorgeous, and I do like the look of these cartoons, and the background artwork just comes shining through. Oh, and I failed to mention in the track that the actual title, it's a play on the phrase stop and go. I know it should be obvious, but for completeness sake, I had to mention that. Let's take a look at this cartoon once again, just with fresh eyes now that I've seen a restored copy. I just like the fact that when we see this character for the first time, he's doing the whole hibbity hop, and he's all happy in that. It's quite clear, as I mentioned in the track, that Norm McCabe was set to introduce his own characters and just see what works and what doesn't. Now, it's up for debate whether this character would have worked had he continued on any further entries, but at least here, he's doing the right thing. He's introducing the character, and that he's, if you pardon the pun, hoppy-go-lucky, and he's all happy, but of course he's a little bit up himself, isn't he? He just thinks he's the best hopper around. Or maybe he's just clueless, I don't know. But Pinto Colvin was definitely a great choice for the voice acting here, and I already mentioned Pinto in the track. But just wanted to point out that at this point, Pinto had a falling out with Walt Disney in the late 30s, so he ended up doing a little bit at Warner Brothers. He then went to Miami and he did some stuff with the Fleischers, and at this point he's back in California and he's just doing all sorts of work. And eventually he does return to Disney and voice Goofy, because around this point, Goofy, they just use stock sounds and sound likes. As far as I'm concerned, at least at that period of time, there was only one Goofy, Pinto Colvig. Yes, now we've got Bill Farmer, and he does an amazing job, and he's a wonderful man too. I've met him a few times. He's such a lovely guy. So within a minute, we've established our story pretty well, what's going on. Claude's saying he's best at hopping, and we know that someone's going to try and take him down a peg. We see that he's the best at it because of his Chicken Inspector badge, which, if you look into it further, it's quite an adult joke. It basically means inspecting the ladies, that kind of stuff. It's old-timey. And that "Oh You Kid," that comes from a song from 1909, which had the adulterous line, it's very scandalous, I guess. I love my wife, but oh you kid. And it really was a major scandal when that came out in 1909. Nowadays, you just shrug, but yeah, times were different back then, of course. So we then see our rabbits. Interesting idea to have two Scottish rabbits. I do wonder whose idea that was. Was it the writer Melvin Millar, or was it Norm McCabe? Did the storyboards already have the Scottish design on there, or was it just two generic rabbits and Norm McCabe ended up having them look like Scottish characters? I don't know, but it's always a treat to hear Mel Blanc do the Scottish characters, which he does here. And of course they added a boxing ring, because why not? There's seemingly a lot of characters around this time, like in To Duck and Not To Duck and all that. Boxing rings seem to just pop up at random, don't they? Which is absolutely hilarious. And yeah, as pointed out in the track, champion certificate, well, he's a goof. Boy, that's one of the most major inside gags I've seen in a cartoon in the golden age. Most of the people in the audience probably wouldn't get it. You may have someone going, oh yeah, he sounds kind of like Goofy, but there was no credits for voice actors, so no one would have really known, oh, it's Pinto Colvig. So this is definitely one of those interesting little inside jokes. So then we see that the rabbits are going to test out Claude's ability to hop, and I like the fact that he talks himself up, but his hopping ability is actually pretty good. I do like that they went with that idea rather than someone talking himself up as though he's brilliant at hopping and potentially he's not. But in this case, he actually is. But the rabbits just decide to mess with him and make it out that they're actually better than him in terms of hopping. So then he decides, you know what, I'm going to lighten my load. I don't know why he's got all that stuff in the pouch, but whatever. He lightens his load. And again, the rabbits trick him. And then he tries again, and we got that beautiful Craig Brown sound effect that you hear in a lot of shorts constantly whenever they need something really stretching like a spring or whatever. And it's used to great effect here. It's fantastic, and it also leads to a funny gag. We then hear a bird say, "Mammy," and someone's pointed out that that's the same voice of a bird saying "Mammy" in the short Flop Goes the Weasel, so they just simply reused it. Wouldn't surprise me. They came out roughly the same time, so there's that. And I like that there's a little bit of character development where Claude's like, oh, am I actually good at hopping? Oh, I don't know. And he's second-guessing himself. We've got the wonderful animation of him just trying to figure out, am I any good at it? But sure enough, one of the rabbits decides to offer coaching to Claude, and we ended up doing a very major setup to one really long gag for the entire last third, which is like one gigantic hop, or rather two, because it does jump off one balloon. So I guess it's one big jump and then one really big endless jump towards the end. The rabbit even quickly puts a crate in his pouch and just says it's for balance. And I like that we don't know what this crate actually is. It's actually a good setup. I missed this last time and I noticed it now. So we get that setup. So he's going along and it goes on and on and on. Now, there is a price ceiling gag here, and people at the time would have known this because at the time of World War II, you had your rationing, right? But there was also the price ceiling regarding certain goods. I was looking this up, I figured it was something, and sure enough, it was. There is a blog called The Food Historian, and this is taken from that blog entry, and this is just a bit of a summary. A big part of keeping prices affordable during the Second World War was not only the mandatory rationing, but also the Office of Price Administration, the OPA, and they were able to freeze or set prices nationally for all consumer goods. Although direct price control, quote-unquote ceiling prices as they were called at the time, were extremely popular with the general public, retailers and especially manufacturers were constantly looking for ways around the regulations or to weaken them. And meat was a big item that had developed a black market as a result. The article goes on into further detail about how issues with values of meat and all that actually ended up with the government being blamed. So there you are. Essentially, yeah, ceiling prices was a big deal due to the war. So Claude continues on his gigantic hop, and we got these beautiful nighttime effects. Is at night, you see some shadows, and when we see the bullets, if you freeze frame that, you can see how it looks like sketches, like very sketchy look. It looks really good. I never really noticed that before. And again, this is why I like some of these shorts that get restored, even if they're not the greatest. Like this one's not the greatest short, but you can see some really cool stuff. And we end, of course, it's a World War II scenario. At the end, we realize it's over Japan, but at first we don't realize that. So he's over Japan, and then the crate that's set up not long ago, he looks at it, and it's TNT. So again, we've got that wonderful setup, and he drops the TNT, and that's it. We end the short on what would have been at the time wishful thinking. Destruction of Tokyo, because that's, again, this takes place in World War II, and Japan were the enemy at the time. Now, is the short any good? I do like it. I think it's a nice, charming little short. Is it great? No. Is it Norman Cape's best? No. But there's a lot of good in it. And who knows what Norman Cape would have done with this character. I'm not the biggest fan of those rabbits. It's an interesting idea, but I don't know. Maybe Norman Cape could come up with some different villains. But you know what? This one gets a 7 out of 10. It's fine. And you can now also judge for yourself, because as I mentioned, it's in the public domain. But that'll do it for this review. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
Hippity-hop, hippity-hop, hippity-hop to the barber shop. Hippity-hop, hippity-hop. Hello, I'm Claude. Claude Hopper. Best darn hopper in the whole world. Yes, sir. World's champion. Hippity-hop, hippity-hop, etc.
Sandy, do you see the world's champion? Shall we take him down a peg or two, eh? Aye? That's champion hopping, chap. Get in the old 1-2 hop now. Come on, chap. Get in there and drop. Come on, show 'em, chap. That's the old champ, old boy. Now get us your old knackout hop, champ.
Champagne? Say, I'm the champagne hopper, and I got a certificate to prove it. See?
Shall we give him a chance to really prove it, Sandy? Aye?
Oh, I'm an athlete, all right. I even got athlete's feet. I slipped that first time, but not this time. I guess I'll show them their rabbits. Sorta hard on my metatarsal arches. Show ya. One for the money, two for the, oh well. What are they laughing at me for? I can hop good, see? Hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hop. Singing in the shower, rum-tee-dum, singing in the shower, rum-dum-dum. You know, Claude, you're no such a bad hopper. All you need is coaching. Ready, Sandy? Aye. Ballast. Gosh, this is sure a champagne jump. I wonder where I am now. Sort of noisy, ain't it? Guess we know who's champion now.
That's all, folks.